brothers, sisters, how y'all doing? What's up? This is Ernest, one half of Remnants Gathering, Widow Gang in the house. Y'all know what it is. Uh, just wanted to share today. Uh, Man, had a couple of instances of me really dealing with my ego, dealing with that. Man, if you all are doing some shadow work, if you really going within, you'll come to learn and come to find out that there are a lot of ugly aspects about your personality and character that you may have not realized they're that bad. And so it takes someone being close to you, especially somebody that you can confide in, a partner that basically holds the mirror up so you can see yourself. I just want to encourage you, if you don't have that significant other, it doesn't take having that significant other. You can make journals, make yourself a daily journal. And what you want to do is every time that, especially at the end of a day, you want to jot down all the times you may have gotten angry, all the times you may have gotten bitter, all the times that you may have got offended. But what you want to do is you want to make a list of those instances throughout the day. Or it could just be a certain thought that you had when something occurred or when something else happened. It may have been a certain thought that you had that really could be negative. Not that sometimes negativity is all bad. If we just want to be real with ourselves, we as individuals, we as human beings are very multifaceted. And so I'm not just going to say we have two sides. I'm going to say there are degrees. There's a degree that goes to one extreme, and then there's a degree that goes to the opposite extreme. And so we find ourselves falling in between those two extremes from time to time, daily. And so what we want to do, our aim is to find balance, create balance, maintain balance. So whatever it is, whether you're on one end of the extreme, you want to figure out how to dial that back and maintain in a place of stability to where you're not easily angered, you're not easily frustrated, you're not easily disappointed, you're not easily disgusted, you're not easily offended, But me personally, dealing with these shadow issues that I have myself, I find myself sometimes getting easily offended. I find myself getting easily agitated, and then I'll passive aggressively deal with the situation. And if you have been studying any type of behavioral changes, if you've been looking into that and understanding some of the concepts behind it, then you would know that being passive aggressive is not an end. That's not the way you deal with it, because if you're dealing with something passive aggressively, guess what? You ain't dealing with it. Basically, all you did was walked away from the situation. Did not speak your truth about the situation. Did not allow it to be put on the table or brought forth so there can be some resolve. And so from time to time, I have these instances where my wife, she has to stop me in my tracks and be like, babe, no, let's deal with it. No, you're trying to avoid dealing with it. And so I may have an instance where, for example, today, I just didn't want to deal with myself. And so the ugly truth is sometimes, it's my fault that we may be late to a place. But in this particular instance, earlier, I felt Like, no, it was not my fault. And so instead of me saying, yeah, sometimes I have made us late, blase, blase, I got offended and it caused me to get agitated. And in that agitation, the way that I said what I wanted to say, and then it was like I was through with it. Instead of just being able to be present in the moment, be present, express myself, allow Cam to rebut, give feedback, or respond to it, and then we can further dialogue. Fast forward, we still had to end up going through just that, but it took a few minutes because it took that mirror being held up to my face. And so I said all of that to say again, you may have an accountability partner, you may not have an accountability partner, but you can also be accountable for yourself. And so what we do is at the end of each night, we jot down those things. You might call it a character flaw. You may just look at it as something that you want to correct. So again, like I said, depending on how you respond, depending on how you react to a circumstance, depending on what you verbally say, you write those things down. And then the purpose of jotting those things down is basically to identify it. Then once you've identified these things, you can accept that, hey, yeah, I do have these tendencies. I do this kind of often. And then after you identified it and accepted it, then that's when you go about being mindful. That's when you go about catching yourself. It's not a cakewalk. Let me just say that. But when you begin to make it a practice of being mindful and catching yourself, then it becomes more and more and more apparent to you when it's actually occurring. And so through this experience, it helps to expose that ego, expose the shadow working in the background. So you have to go into the shadows now. It's the area where your true self resides, because in the light we present our false selves. Not everybody, and even us. We don't get us wrong. What you see is what you get. And so, but we in general as people have a tendency to put on. When we deal with some people, we give them our professional side. When we deal with certain individuals, when we deal in certain arenas, in certain areas, you put on your professional face. You put on your professional voice. And then in some arenas, in some areas, you might put on your hood. Some people might say, I'm just being real. I'm just being me. But hey, you put on depending on what you're doing and what you're going through. And so in order to merge that, what you want to do is you want to work through this stuff to merge that. Instead of it being that you put on in certain aspects or in certain areas, what you want to do is you want to get to the place that's all merged and you are totally being authentic. In 1 second you professional, and in the next second the hood come out. But guess what? You in control of it though. You follow what I'm saying? It's not like you're out of control and you lose your sense of awareness. No, you still in a professional setting. But you can be authentic, you can be real, you can be yourself because you're important. It's healthy for us to allow our authentic selves to be free. And what has happened in a lot of cases, we have compartmentalized. We have gotten so accustomed to that compartmentalization or that compartmentalized effect where when you deal with certain people, you're a certain way. When you deal with other people, you're a certain way. Your family may know you like this, but then everybody else that you encounter only know you to a certain extent. But at the same time, why do you have to have that many different aspects about yourself? Why you just can't be you? Why you just can't be authentic? Your authentic self. Shit, if you like to curse, curse. If you like to be loud, be loud. It's a reason for it. Whatever it is that's true to you being you, so be it. It's you being true to who you are. We've gotten so programmed and so judgmental to the point to where people are scared to be themselves. And people would rather put on a happy face. People would rather put on a nice guy face or a nice girl face instead of being who you are. No, you do something that is truly offensive, I'm going to express myself and let you know that offended me. I'm not a doormat that you're going to walk all over. Some people are just true to themselves and like that and are very outspoken and will tell you in a heartbeat where to get off. And then some people are more passive, and some people will take shit off of other folks. They will allow things to be said, whether to them or about them, without checking it. But as an authentic individual, if I don't like it, I'm gonna let you know I don't like it. If you don't like it, you gotta let that person know you don't like it. Instead of you keeping those feelings inside and having built up resentment against another individual. Why? All because you didn't let them know how you felt. See, that's bullshit right there. If somebody say something or somebody treats me in a way that I don't like, I won't say nothing but to keep the peace and for everything to be, smooth. Just won't say nothing. No. That ain't the way to deal with it. Now you let them know that I ain't like it. You ain't gotta talk crazy. But if you want to talk crazy, shit, talk crazy. But you let them know, no, I don't appreciate that. I ain't like that. That way, they won't do it no more. And guess what? If they do it again, after you done already told them you ain't like it, then let's move to step 2. How you gonna deal with it then? Cause see, I done told you once, I don't like it. You did it again? Okay, alright. We have to be authentic to ourselves. And being real helps us spiritually. Because then you don't have to work through all of these different layers of yourself in order to find who you truly are. Because how can you be spiritual? How can you truly love if you don't know yourself? You gotta know yourself. Knowledge of self. Self-awareness. Self-love. Self-care. Without any of that, you can't even begin to get on your true spiritual journey. So, again, I just wanted to share that. I just felt the need to drop that nugget of information, and hopefully it helps you. Hopefully you can apply it to your self-work, everything that you're doing to better yourself. And if you're not in the place of doing anything to better yourself, I would encourage you to. Whether you're young or whether you have gotten up in age, it's never too late to start. If somebody telling you, and if you allowing the ego within you to tell you that, oh, it's too late to start, you need to take control of that. That means you allowed another program to run. If that's not how you truly feel. If you feel like you don't like something about yourself, work on it. Work on it. People don't like the way they look. What they do? They make changes. See, we work so I'm gonna say we work so unconsciously. We work so faithfully at building up our outer image. Hey, in this world, that's what it's all about. Image, right? So what your inner image look like? What does your inner image look like? Cause see, I learned through my years, a person can be attractive and nice looking and all of that on the outside, but ugly as hell on the inside. And guess what? When you really ugly on the inside, I don't care how much you try to mask it and make it look good on the outside, that shit show. And they be like, nah. So again, check your inner image. Are you working hard to have a beautiful image on the inside? Because guess what? If you work on that image and you build that inner image up, man, your outer image is going to flow from the inside out. And so your outer image will be captivating. It will be amazing. It will be beautiful to whoever beholds. So again, as always, just want you all to know that we're definitely holding virtual hands. We're walking through this thing together. And as Cam and I always say, your third eye has just been kissed.